Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stand, and it is open training. As you can hear Diogo Dalot saying right at the start, Mason Mount is back. Diogo Dalot welcoming Mason Mount back into Manchester United first team training. It has been a long time since Mason Mount has been out with the players, out with the first team, but he is back. Reports earlier today that Ruben Amorim is desperate to keep Mason Mount fit as he sees him as a key player in the future of his Manchester United team. He sees him as the perfect fit for a number 10 role in his future plans at Manchester United. What are your thoughts on that? I said, and I want to be driving a Ferrari next week. Do you know, it's all well and good, wanting things in life, but can it actually happen? Can Mason Mount get fit, and can he stay fit? So far in his Manchester United career, he's proved he can't. I hope for the sake of the player and for the sake of Manchester United he can, because I've said this multiple times. I think Mason Mount is a very, very, very good player. Unfortunately, he seems like he's just broken. And, when you pay 60 million for a player, you desperately want him to be fit, you want him to be able to play, but he's not managed to consistently play for Manchester United. He's back now, he's back in Manchester United first team training. Let's just hope he can stay fit and grab one of them number 10 roles, because they are open and I think they are up for grabs. I don't think anybody's absolutely claimed it. I don't think anybody's gone, this is going to be my spot in the team. So Mason Mount, I do think he's fit for that, and I think that's where his attributes best lie. So let's see if he can stay fit. Also, Manuel Ugarte is back in Manchester United first team training. That is huge. That is huge, especially going into a must-win Europa League game against Real Sociedad at Old Trafford. Having a player like Manuel Ugarte back fit is super, super important for me. I say he's one of the first names on the team sheet. I think Bruno Fernandes, Manuel Ugarte, Nusa Mazraoui and Ahmad, when he's fit, are the first names on the team sheet. So to have Manuel Ugarte back is absolutely crucial. Just kind of looking around the rest of the squad, you can see that Chido is also there. Chido is not eligible for the Europa League, but he's in and around first team training. Ruben Amorim has said that he is ready to play for Manchester United. He said him and Aiden Heaven are both ready to play for Manchester United. Aiden Heaven, one of the first players out to train earlier today. He is eligible for the Europa League game. Will he start? You've seen that there's no Lenny Yoro here. He is suffering with an injury to his foot. I'm just hoping and praying it is not the same injury that he had in the summer that kept him out for so long. I hope it's not a reoccurring thing. I hope it's something separate. But Lenny Yoro is out. Aiden Heaven came on and did a really, really, really good job. Is he in line to play some minutes against Real Sociedad at Old Trafford? Looked super comfortable on the ball. I think he's, stood there next to De Ligt. De Ligt's going to partner him. De Ligt's going to help him. De Ligt's a leader from the back. De Ligt's been fantastic, actually. In games where Manchester United, we've not really had a good season, let's be honest. We've actually had a very, very poor season. And in games where Manchester United haven't been able to score goals, we've struggled in front of goal. What has been good is the defensive solidarity with Mazraoui, with Lenny Yoro, with De Ligt. They've been really good together. Unfortunately, Lenny Yoro has got an injury, but can Aiden Heaven step in there and De Ligt partnering through that? Just looking at some other players that are in first team training, kind of trying to look for some youngsters. You've got Harry Armas in training with the first team. He's stood next to captain Bruno Fernandes. Also looking around, got Jack Fletcher in there as well, next to Bruno Fernandes training, which is exciting for him. He's been around the first team for quite a long time now. Not yet had minutes, but clearly is highly rated by the coach because he is consistently part of the first team training. You have Toby Collier. Also good to see him back fit and managing to gain some fitness. Will he get some minutes in the Europa League tie? You've got really promising goalkeeper there, Eli Harrison. He had a fantastic loan spell, and there's a lot of people in and around Manchester United that have high hopes for him. So there is some younger players as well getting their call up into first team training and training with the first team. Also just looking, is that James Scanlon there at the back? Honestly, I know the camera the camera will have a good zoom, so you'll be able to see. But me from far away here, it's hard to fully see the faces. But I think it might be James Scanlon. I'll have to have a closer look at who that is. But I think I am right there in that. Patrick Dorgu, also training, is facing his ban in the Premier League for that red card, but he is eligible for the game against Real Sociedad, and I am pretty certain he will be starting that game as Ruben Amorim's signing of the January transfer window had a pretty good impact so far at Manchester United, and he is actually going to be the player in the press conference as well today, so it'll be interesting to see his responses to the questions he gets asked about settling into life in Manchester. Just looking around, Mason Mount looks quite comfortable there. He looks quite happy to be back. I really hope he can stay fit. I really do, because I think he can be a massive boost towards the later ends of this season, especially if you're in the Europa League in a competition where that Manchester United have to win. It's good to see a smile on his face. Looking at other players, you know, who's going to be the starting 11 in the Europa League tomorrow, who's going to be able to make that starting 11. Rasmus Højlund was one of the first players out to train today. Just for reference, everyone, I do these open training sessions a lot. We always do the Europa League open training sessions. Diogo Dalot is always the first player out. He's always the first player out to train, and I think we've heard so much about Diogo Dalot and his attitude and his mentality and his professionalism. He's come under a lot of criticism recently for his form, and he does need to be better. I still struggle to see what his best position is going to be in this system, and I don't know if he's good enough going forward to be the wing-back that Ruben Amorim needs, but you cannot doubt his commitment to the club and his professionalism, and he is an example for the rest of the team, and I think it's important to have characters like that. It's important to have players with a top mentality in the dressing room. You know, he's now 25, one of the senior players, have got 200 appearances for Manchester United. His form needs to improve massively, but you don't go from being player of the year to just being useless. Like, he is a good player. It's whether he can get to grips with the wing-back position in the Ruben Amorim system, the adaptation. Some players take longer to adapt than others. Will he be able to adapt? Get down in the comments down below what your thoughts are on that. But yeah, in terms of the starting 11, Joshua Zirkzee and Rasmus Højlund there in that rondo together. Which one of them will start, or will they both start? Because I'm looking through it and I'm thinking, Andre Onana's going to start in goal. There's still no sign of Bayindir or Tom Heaton. He's not going to throw in one of the young goalkeepers for a must-win game at Old Trafford. So it's going to be Andre Onana in goal. I'm thinking a back three of De Ligt, Mazraoui and Victor Lindelof. I do think Victor Lindelof will start, and as much as Victor Lindelof, you know, he's gonna leave Manchester United and he's going on a free in the summer, and he's probably surplus to requirements at Manchester United. We had a good defensive display against Arsenal, and Victor Lindelof led that from the middle. He was the central centre-back, so I think Victor Lindelof will start. I think Mazraoui will probably start on the left side, and I think De Ligt will probably start on the right side. Aidan Heaven's there to come on off the bench if needed. Don't want to put too much pressure on him too soon. I do think he will make at least an appearance. And then you have your wing-backs as Dorgu and Dalot, your midfielders as Ugarte and Bruno, your 2-10s as Garnacho and Zirkzee, and then your number 9 as Rasmus Højlund. That's how I see it looking. That's how I see it lining up. Will Alejandro Garnacho start? Alejandro Garnacho did really well against Arsenal, I thought. Is he going to start this game? He seems to keep bouncing between a starter in that number 10 spot, but mainly playing out wide than to being a bench player coming off the bench. I think the majority of the fan base do think he's better off the bench, and in an ideal world you would have a squad where you have that starter, i.e. a Mason Mount, but he's not been fit, and then you have Garnacho coming off the bench for that impact. But I do think you need Garnacho to stretch the play. I do think you need Garnacho to stretch the defence. He offers that pace, he can carry the ball, he gets you up the pitch. So I would start him actually in this game. I think he deserves to start because he was the danger man against Arsenal. Still needs to work on his end product, but I think what I'm excited to see, which we couldn't see against Arsenal because of Dorgu's ban, I'm excited to see his relationship with Dorgu continue to progress if he does start on the left side, which I think he will, because him and Patrick Dorgu, I kind of liked what they had going on in the games that they have played together. Obviously, at first, Alejandro Garnacho was failing to to pass to Dorgu on the overlap. I don't think he was used to having a wing back that actually did overlap. But when they played more minutes together, you could see them rotating. Garnacho would go on the outside, Dorgu would go on the inside, because Dorgu's very comfortable to do that. And Garnacho's best position is playing as that touchline winger. So whether they'll play on the same side together is something to watch out for. But one thing I will bring up, and I was having this conversation with one of you guys actually, I forget your name, but it's somebody in the United Stand community who DM'd me on Instagram about my comments regarding Mazraoui and Garnacho. In that Arsenal game, Mazraoui and Garnacho looked very, very good together on that right-hand side. The only reason why I'm saying I'm excited to see Dorgu and Garnacho combine more is because I do think Mazraoui will go back to being a centre-back. Therefore, your wing-backs are going to be Dalot and Dorgu, and I think Garnacho will go back with Dorgu on that one. So that's why I'm saying it. Mazraoui and Garnacho did have that good relationship on that right-hand side, and I do think Garnacho being on the right forces him into passing more, which I think is a good thing, especially for our attack and our striker and Joshua Zirkzee. But Mazraoui, I think, is going to start as a centre-back in this game, hence why I'm talking about the Dorgu and Garnacho relationship, because I do think there is something to build on there. Will Casemiro get dropped, though? Because I named Ugarte coming straight back into the 11. It might be a bit harsh to drop Casemiro because he's had a few good performances, to be honest with you. And he's obviously got experience against these Spanish sides and experience against sides like Real Sociedad. He did decently well in the first leg against Real Sociedad. He had a good game against Arsenal. Is it fair to drop him? But I just think Manuel Ugarte is so crucial. I do see him coming back into the 11, and I think Bruno's actually been good in that deeper role as of late. I think he's been more disciplined, and I think he's looked good in that position. So, the ball's coming towards us. Should I go and kick it back to him? Should I get involved in the open training? So yeah, I think it might be harsh to drop Casemiro, but ultimately I just don't think Ruben Amorim properly fancies him. Maybe you will go with Ugarte and Casemiro as the pivot, and then Bruno moving into the 10, and either Garnacho or Zirkzee will go to the bench, but I don't see that happening. I see Bruno staying in that pivot role and Casemiro dropping to the bench. But anyway, we're getting hurried off now to Ruben Amorim's press conference. That was open training. Joshua Zirkzee seemed in good spirits. Mason Mount seems in good spirits. I am super excited to hear what Ruben Amorim has to say. Maybe he'll get asked about the new stadium. Stay tuned and we'll bring that to you shortly.
Thanks everyone to our press conference for our Europa League game against Real Sociedad tomorrow night. We have Ruben Amorim and Patrick Dorgu. Please identify who your question is for. Let's start with Simon.
Hi Ruben. In terms of the squad tomorrow, we noticed Lenny Yoro wasn't out there, so I'm guessing he's out. How's things looking? Mason Mount too soon?
Yeah, Mason Mount is too soon. Lenny's out. Harry Maguire cannot play this one, but I hope to have him for Sunday. Manu is on the squad, and I think there is no one returning.
Is Lenny a long-term thing? Or?
No. It's not a long-term, but he cannot play this game and the other game.
Just wanted to ask as well, the stadium plans were unveiled yesterday. What did you make of them when you saw them and the project this club has?
It's an amazing stadium, like should be. But it's in the future, 5 years from now. So we have to focus on the present. And I'm really excited to win things in Old Trafford. That is our focus.
Ruben, Simon Stone, BBC. Sir Jim Ratcliffe gave some interviews this week and he praised you personally, but then made some rather disparaging comments about some of your players being either not good enough or being overpaid. First of all, what's your reaction to what he said? And secondly, how do you go about dealing with that when there's such big comments to the players in the dressing room?
I think if we being not honest, in this moment, everybody, me, all the players, we are underperforming this season. So we can always change that. So I include myself in that part of underperforming. And you are talking about players like Casemiro, for example, that won everything. And we know that these kind of players can play so much better. So that is the focus. And he was honest on that. So the focus is to change his mind and to change all the people minds.
Do you have confidence the players will have that attitude? They will have heard those comments as well. The likes of Casemiro, they will go out and try and prove the owner wrong?
Yeah, I think it's the right way to do it. If you are a top player and you play in this club, even me, a lot of people say is that I'm not good enough for the club, and my feeling is that you can change that with results. So I think they in training I feel that they want this really bad, and especially for tomorrow.
Paul.
Hi, Ruben. Another thing that Jim Ratcliffe was speaking about was his relationship with you. He said you quite often have quite frank conversations between yourselves. Can you just give us a bit more insight into that and what your working relationship is like with him?
It's really good since day one. I think we are really blunt and honest with each other. It's a little bit the character. We are quite similar. That I always felt the support of the board, and especially from Sir Jim. I cannot tell you the conversations, but are a simple conversation, clear conversation, and honest conversations.
James.
Ruben, you just on your own future, you're very honest and very candid, and you have been in recent weeks. And you say everything will always be governed by results, but the owner and the chief executive were incredibly supportive of you this week. Does that give you a lot of confidence that they view you as a vital sort of part of this long-term project?
I already knew that. All these conversations I already had in the past with them. After matches, they went to the dressing room, talked to me to explain this, but to say it publicly is really good for the coach. But I continue to say the same thing. This is we need results and we need to improve the team. But since day one, I felt the support from everybody here.
I will tell you for Patrick. Beth.
Hi, Patrick. What was it about Ruben Amorim, his system, and Manchester United that made you want to join?
Yeah, obviously I saw Ruben in Sporting before he came, and I could already see the ideas he had. So it's a very attacking system, and I would like to get in the box and score goals, and obviously also defend.
On your first game, you played on the right side for Manchester United. You've played on the right, you've played on the left. Which side do you personally prefer playing on?
I don't have a it's just it's the boss that takes a decision, and I'm comfortable playing on both sides.
And then quickly, Ruben, to you as well. Sir Jim recently spoke and he said that Manchester United would have run out of money by December 2025. Based on results this year, clearly there's investment needed in the squad. Are you confident, with other top teams probably going to spend over 100 million, Arsenal have got them plans this summer, that you'll have the money to invest in your team to compete at the highest level?
We have a clear plan to address next season. Of course, we have Europa League also, and you can reach Champions League. We never know. It's far from this moment, but you never know. It can change the preparation for next season. So we have a plan. We know what to do. We know that we are in the difficult moment, but the most important thing again is to have a plan and to know what to do and what kind of players you need to bring.
Does it still involve potentially selling key players to get that money in?
We'll see. In this moment, we just focus, especially in this competition, that can change everything. So let's focus on the game tomorrow.
Chris.
Patrick, please. Patrick, how have you found settling into English football, and how frustrating was it to get that red card against Ipswich and the 3-match ban that followed?
It was obviously not nice to get the red card, but it's part of football, and I just need to learn from this and improve my game. And I've settled well into Manchester. The trainings are good, and I'm getting going well with the team.
All right.
Another one for Patrick, if I may. Wing-back role seems very important in Ruben's system. What kind of thing has he been saying to you once you've been in the team that he wants from you?
Yeah, he's talking about obviously the connection with the other players, the midfielders, the 10s is more of the connection and a lot of deep runs and movement.
Dave.
Hi,
Hi, Ruben. You mentioned everything can change if you were to go all the way in the Europa League this season. I know that's not the immediate sort of thought, but how important is this competition in terms of keeping your season alive, given the position you're in the Premier League?
Yeah, in that context is also important. Give us more energy to continue the season. We know that it's not going to change a lot the idea for the next season, but give us more energy to finish the season in a different way. So tomorrow again is going to be a really important game for us.
Samuel.
Hi, Ruben. Just going back on the comments that Jim Ratcliffe made about some of the players, did any of those players come to you and complain about it at all?
No, nothing. I didn't felt nothing. I really enjoyed the training today, so we are ready to face the game.
Thank you.
Okay. Any more? Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.